Hi, Gemini Moon. Welcome to your reading. Let's start off with some deep breaths. Ooh, I forgot my affirmation cards. 1 second. I usually start us off with some affirmations here. 1 second. Gemini Moon, I am hearing right off the bat, vamos, 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 vamos. I don't know where that is coming from, but I feel the need to say that. Vamos, vamos, vamos. Let's go ahead and just keep up with those deep breaths. Welcome to your reading. I haven't done a Gemini Moon since Aquarius season, I believe. And I usually, very rarely do I do moon signs here, so... And coincidentally, I'm doing this on a new moon in Gemini. Ooh, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Ooh, very much in... I'm getting like shadow aspect. That's coming up a lot. Gemini Moon. You are honest. Okay. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. I'm getting that you are honest, you are sincere. You are like a white rose. When we look at you, it is a breath of fresh air. I had written that down for you, Gemini Moons. There's a lot of like shadow aspect that is coming up in this reading. Okay, that could be a heavy significance that you are experiencing in your life right now, okay? I have some notes also written down here for you. Some significance that are coming up. Stretching. We are to stretch. Higher energy. And I'm getting that for some of you, you have been fasting, okay? And you're gaining and have gained a lot of higher energy. You've gained a lot of energy through fasting, okay? That's what I'm getting. Another significance is reciprocity. Surrounding yourself with people who's also going to give you the same energy that you are in. So right now, Gemini Moon, what I'm getting is like you are ascending. And it is important to be around people who's going to give you the same energy, reciprocity, equal give and take, reciprocity, okay? I'm also getting like Libra energy, and I'm also getting Virgo energy. There is also a significance about men. And I feel like that's in the air in Gemini season. There's something about men. Okay, take that as it resonates. I also got Gemini Moon. Fear is just as powerful as love. And depending on how we are using this power, it is going to have the same kind of impact, the same kind of influence, right? When we show up in the world with so much of this light that we are carrying, that is going to be influential and impactful. When somebody else sees that, it is going to be very impactful and they're going to pick it up right away, okay? The Knight of Wands came up first. And when we are in fear, it is going to be just as impactful and powerful. What I was getting it also is like, ooh, for a bit, like I just got this like sense of confusion. You guys may have headaches. Some of you may have headaches. You're experiencing headaches. We have the Moon. I am using the Star Spinner Tarot. I felt the need to say that. A lot of us, I feel like we're in our shadow. We're in our shadow, Gemini Moon. I want to say that. We're in our shadow. I feel that this can also be Yeah, look, 8 of Swords. Worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. A lot of this shadow aspect is coming up in this reading right now, right? A lot of fear and self, a lot of wanting to release a whole lot of this. Okay, I think that you may also be finding yourself to be releasing all of this energy, which leads me to what I had written here. We have this tendency to gaslight our own self when we dwell too much in our shadow. Okay, hence the moon. Coming back to stretching, what I said earlier about significance in stretching, because in stretching we are releasing. We are releasing a whole lot of that energy that we may not even know that is there, and sometimes we feel like it's our energy, but we pick up on others' energy, and it's just there. So it's like trapped energy in your system that is not supposed to be there. So when we are stretching, we are in a position of releasing, and a whole lot of releasing. I want to tell you guys a story. Yesterday, I was listening to Jhené Aiko. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her. She's amazing. I love her music. I would also recommend to listen to her in times when you are feeling distressed and lonely and just, not in alignment, not feeling balanced. And she plays singing bowls, those singing bowls. And I had seen a post of her playing the singing bowls, and I had my earphones on. And as I was listening for a minute, okay, it is so weird, so strange that for a minute I felt woozy. As soon as I heard her play that singing bowl, I felt woozy. And then I thought, my intuition told me like, wow, okay, there's probably a lot of trapped energy in my system that I have not allowed to release. So as soon as I heard the singing bowls, the frequency of it made me feel woozy. Like it kind of like knocked me out of my senses a little bit. Like I actually was like moving side to side, and I felt it in my body and I felt it in my mind. And then instantly I thought like, wow, there is a lot that I probably should release. Energies around me that I'm picking up. It may not even be your energy, Gemini moon, but I'm saying that you may be picking up on other people's energy and you're confusing it with yours. So I'm getting that it is important to stretch, because in stretching, are you also releasing all of those energies that may not even be yours? So yesterday when I was sitting there and I heard the singing bowls, instantly I felt woozy, and I think that was a sign that I need to release energies around me. Like I need to release energies that's not mine, but I'm just picking it up, right? I work like a sponge, and so I pick up a lot on other people's energies, and sometimes it's there and it's just trapped in my system, and I'm not actually paying enough attention that it's there. So as soon as we find ourselves in a position where we are completely relaxed and we allow ourselves to do activities that is going to allow us to release a lot of that energy, then we'll know how amazing and crazy is that, okay? Then we will know what is our energy and what is not our energy. Does that make sense? And I hope I'm making sense, you guys. I don't want to confuse you. So that is of significance. To have this tendency to gaslight yourself when we dwell too much in our shadow. We are very much like in this place of like worry and confusion, right? When we dwell too much in the thoughts of, well, what do they think of me? Or I wonder what they're thinking of me. Or, I wonder if I hadn't said that, or if I hadn't acted like that, like we have these like flighty thoughts, then it leads us to like trapping our own mind, trapping our own self, like not actually realizing and not seeing things clearly. Just like this blindfold that she has over her face, over her eyes. The color red could be also significant. It's funny because my nails is red and I just painted it red. That could be a significance for some of you also. I don't mean to be creepy, but I'm getting like blood. Okay, like blood shedding. That could be significant. 8, the number 8 of swords. You have been in this place of this cycle of entrapping your own mind. This cycle of you having to be in this cycle of, well, if I shouldn't have done that, and if I shouldn't spoken that way, and if I could have done this but a little better. I think that's where the worry is coming from here. I'm getting like, give yourself more compassion. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. I know what that's like. I know what it feels like to like trap yourself in this cycle. Like you see that mandala, like over and over and over and over again, like almost like being hypnotized, and like there's just something like negative about this. It's like spiraling down. You're not there. There's no you're not actually gaining any good energy from it. Like you just keep on spiraling, like spiraling in bad energy, unwholesome energies, right? Like this is you, in fact, entrapping yourself in your own mind, because you're either harboring some things, and you're either in such worry that you aren't actually seeing things very clearly, hence that blindfold that she has over her eyes, right? And that when I said, when we dwell too much in our shadow, it is a lot harder to see things in a different light. Like it's harder to see things in a more positive perspective. I have the Page of Coins. What I'm getting with this is like, give yourself more compassion. Understand that you can choose to be more in compassion and not so much entrapping yourself in negativity. For some of us, I'm getting like, this is in the air. This is in the air. You may also have moments where you find yourself in that cycle. Like this is probably not like an everyday thing. Like for some of us, you could be just having like a moment or like a day where you're just like, wow, like I'm doing it again. I'm getting that. I'm doing it again. And why am I doing that? Okay, I'm getting that. I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. Why do I keep doing that to myself? Why do I keep putting myself in worry? I suppose that you could be picking up a lot of this negative energy from the outside. It isn't, in fact, your energy, Gemini moon. You know what I'm saying? You're picking it up from the outside. And so while you are picking it up from the outside, you're like confusing yourself, like, oh, this is actually mine, when it's not. Wow, that's crazy. When it's not. It actually isn't. And then we have this tendency to like stay in it and then put ourselves in that cycle of like worry. We want to be in a higher energy. For some of you, you are in this higher energy. But I'm getting a lot of the shadow aspect in this reading. For some of you, you are in the higher energy. Like, your intuition is crazy that I'm picking this up, okay? Because I'm also picking up a lot on the shadow aspect. But for some of you, your intuition is telling you that you are in a higher energy. You know yourself to be in this higher energy. You have been in this journey of like keeping yourself steady. And perhaps your intuition is telling you, yes, you are steady. Yes, you are on the right path. Yes, you are on you're looking forward, knowing that you are on the right path, right? And you know yourself to be in a higher energy. But what happens is that when like a Gemini, because you guys are twins, right? Like a Gemini, it's like you're having to bounce back from one personality to the next, one personality to the next, one personality to the next. So you can't really like differentiate if you are in the good or the bad, if you are in the light or the shadow. And for a Gemini moon, wow, like I just got how difficult it can be for a Gemini moon to differentiate if you are in the shadow or if you are in a higher energy, higher plane, if you are in the light or if you are in the shadow. Wow, that's amazing. I also would like to add, okay, that there is parts of us, and not just for our Gemini moons, but for collectively, okay, there is parts of us that is and has been neglected, parts of us that has been suppressed, that sometimes we don't even know it's there, that is and has been suppressed. And I want to let you guys know that to be doing such work, so intricate, and reading tarot, right, and to be the one to read things and the minute and small details, I'm so honored. I'm so honored to be that source for all of us collectively, to be giving such information to people who are in need. So I just want to say that I'm so honored to be doing such work for us collectively and helping us, getting us out of our minds, out of places in our mind that we don't understand. And so to be reading tarot for us collectively and to be like decoding, if you will, to be that person, like I feel so honored. I just want to say that. I just want to add that. I also would like to say to take your chances and follow your intuition, and always following your intuition, because your intuition is always going to tell you the strongest aspect of yourself. Is going to tell you the strongest part of yourself that you may not even understand, Gemini moon, but to you, you know it in your gut, you know it in yourself that this is true, right? Your intuition is always going to tell you confirmation, what is right. What is right, what is right, what is right, what is right. Even if you feel like the world does not agree with you so much, but you hold on to a very strong aspect of yourself, which is your intuition. And by holding on to this and continuing on to hold on to your intuition, this is what's going to tell you what is right. And you know it to be right, even if others call you crazy, even if others think that you are being crazy. But I'm getting like, take your chances in following your intuition, because we're allowed to have these revelations. We're allowed to have these moments of revelations. Like we are allowed to see ourselves in depth and not just what we see on a surface level. Okay, I'm going to say that, just put that out there. And so while we are finding ourselves to be dwelling in the shadow, in our shadow, we are also allowed to dig deeper in our light, just as much as we are in dwelling in the shadows. We are allowed to know our mind in the light, is what I'm getting here. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. For some of you who are in a place of you're finding yourself to be in a higher plane, you're finding yourself to be holding on a lot to your intuition, and you may also be feeling like while you are holding on to your intuition, you may be feeling like you have this like supernatural powers, like you're seeing things in a different light, you're sensing things, like perhaps your senses are heightening, your senses are getting stronger by the minute. Okay, this is what I'm getting. And this can also be coming from you fasting for some of you. like I said earlier, some of you guys were fasting probably like in the month of May, and you're finding yourself to have and gain a lot more of that energy. So you're finding yourself to be seeing the world in a different light. And this is what I mean by like your senses are heightening. That's not your fault. Like, it is actually really good that your senses are heightening. It is very good that you have a keen sense of self-awareness, right? But we don't actually hear society, we don't actually hear the world acknowledge so much of somebody who has a very keen self-awareness, right? We are very much stuck in the narrative of what is standardized, like what is standard, but we don't rarely hear somebody encouraging somebody who has a very keen self-awareness, right? Because in having to have self-awareness and having to have such keen self-awareness, and like you just see things, to society that is not good. To society, they see that as like, you're crazy, you should not be seeing that, you should not be even entertaining that part of you. But it is to pay attention to. That's just you in a higher plane. That's just you in a higher consciousness. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is to be acknowledged. That is to like appreciate. And at this point, like, to know like this is your gifts. Like, you have now gotten to know your own gifts. Like, you're allowed to have a very keen sense of awareness, because in having to have a keen sense of awareness, you're living your life in a different way. Excuse me. My glasses just, excuse me. You're okay, that I'm hearing that you are to be shaken, just like how the camera I just shook the camera. You are to be shaken out of your own shadow. Imagine if we were all sitting in our shadow, right? What your life would be like if we just keep spiraling down. Like, what would your life look like if we just keep spiraling down, spiraling down, spiraling down, spiraling down? It is like this. More than likely like that. Like, I see no growth in this mandala. I see no growth. Like, it's restricted. Like, you are just in one box. I'm getting also like in harboring resentment, in harboring pain, negative emotions, and harboring, there's no growth in that. I'm hearing there's no sense of awareness in that. And I'm going to put that out there, that maybe, you know, you are being put in a place and being acknowledged not to have self-awareness, but that is really important to have. It is, in fact, in all of us to have self-awareness. Our self-awareness is there. Our consciousness is there. Our own consciousness is there. Our own self-awareness is there. We just have to tap into it and allow ourselves to tap into it. But maybe we are not being acknowledged enough to tap into it. Okay. Significance, I keep coming back to stretching, 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 stretching. In this new moon in Gemini. Okay. I am doing this in new moon in Gemini. We are to follow the flow, our sense of flow. Okay. We are to follow our sense of flow and understand what that feels like and what that looks like. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Do you notice that the cards are getting brighter and brighter? Like, there's like a sense of like brightness, right? Like it went from worry to forgiveness to adversity to patience to courage, and then now empathy, right? You came from a place of loneliness. Like some of you guys have been feeling lonely. Some of you guys have been feeling really alone. I'm getting like you're picking up so much and having more hope within yourself. Like you're picking up so much and having to be more in hope. Look at that, the Lovers. Like you are one to like rise. Like you wanna feel what it's like to rise and ascend. You want to know what that world looks like. You want to know what that world feels like, and not so much in having to be in like sadness and blues all the time and dwelling in the shadow. Like you want to know a different world that is not of loneliness, that is not of worry, that is not of like having to block your light, and not so much in misery. You're a big dreamer. I'm getting, you're a dreamer. You are in fact a dreamer, and you're wanting to be at a place, you see, it could just be in your mind, like consciously, but you want to see it also in the physical plane. Like you want to see things change in the physical as well. Your consciousness may be changing, right? Like where you are with your mind, like that is changing, that is shifting, but you also want to see it happen in the physical reality. And I know what that feels like. I know what that feels like. It is very hard to maintain that in the physical. That's what I'm picking up. Like you can have a lot of compassion in your mind. Like you can have a lot of that in your mind. You can have a lot of good in your mind, but you also want to see the good happening in the physical reality. But that, I'm getting like, is hard to do, right? 3 of Swords again. That's like hard to do. That's like not impossible sometimes. It feels impossible to have the good and see the good in the physical reality. What we think about in our mind, we are also going to project out into the universe. Like where we are with our mind, we are also going to project that all out in the physical. So I suppose that we have to start by thinking it first before we actually manifest it in the physical reality. Got it. You have the Lovers here. I'm getting like there's hope, there is hope, there is hope, there is hope. There is hope. You got to fight for it. You got to fight for it. 5 of Swords. You got to fight for your mind. You got to fight your mind sometimes. And okay, I'm getting like you got to fight your mind sometimes, because your mind is your enemy sometimes, and you got to fight the enemy in your mind. You got to fight the shadow, and then bring yourself into the light, right? Remember what I said about this Page of Coins, like having more compassion with yourself. And having to have more compassion in yourself. Like what I'm getting with this circle in the background behind her is that you got to be in that mindset. You got to fill your mind with so much good that you are also projecting that out into your environment. Like you may not be seeing a lot of good in your environment right now, Gemini Moon, but you are very well capable of having good as well in your environment. It's just a matter of thinking it first and then projecting it and manifesting it in your reality. That's beautiful. It's very profound, right? It's very like, oh wow, that's like very magical. Like how do I even bring that to my physical reality? But it starts with having to think about it. What you think about is what you see. What you hear is what, excuse me, and let me not interpret this the wrong way. You are what you see. There you go. You are what you see. You are what you hear. You are what you eat. You are what you see, more than likely. I think that's what I'm trying to get to, is like you are what you see. So if you're not satisfied with what you're seeing around you, you're not satisfied with your environment, you're not satisfied with where you're living, you're not satisfied with your home, like where you're staying at, right? This is what I'm picking up. Like, there's something about your mind that needs to change, and you got to shift it in order for your environment to change. Okay. You got to keep it in your mind, and a vision in your mind. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep fighting for, you got to keep fighting your mind. Keep fighting your mind. Get yourself out of this entrapment in your mind, and then you will get yourself out of this entrapment in your environment. Wow. Gemini moon, this has been a very profound reading. If you guys would like a personal reading, all of my information will be in the description box below. Thank you guys for being here and tuning in. Sending you so much love and support. Take care, you guys. I'll see you in the next. Bye.